Hey guys, thanks for checking out another video. This is the summary race analysis for round 2 of the 2020 Morelands Motocross Under the Lights series. So in this video we're going to go over the events that took place during round 2 and all the races and give my thoughts on that. Unlike round 1, I didn't get there early enough to participate in open practice, so you're just watching footage from practice before the races. And if you notice, I actually hit the finish line triple again, but I came up a little bit short and that corner got messier and messier as the day went on, so I didn't actually hit it in any of the races. Before we get started, I want to remind you all that the races were uploaded yesterday, so if you want to go check those out before you listen to me spoil them, then make sure to go check the link in the description, as I have a link to the playlist down there. Let's jump right into the first race, which was actually 250A. So first of all, 250A Moto 1 was actually the very first race of the day, which I've never been the first race, so it caught me off guard. And I was actually in line for the concessions when they announced that 250A was Moto 1, so I had to leave the line, go get my gear on, and then rush to the starting line. So I was kind of rushing around, kind of stressed, and then the gate dropped, and there we go. But I actually got a really good start, even though I kind of creeped forward, almost hit the gate, but I got a good start. In the first section, I made a poor line choice. I was on the far left side, which set me up for the inside of the next corner, but I had to get on the brakes harder. So somebody, 881 on the Yamaha, was able to carry his momentum around the outside of me. So I settled in the third there, about half a lap in, and then we got to the sand corner, and wham! Out of nowhere, 265 on a Yamaha. Came up the inside and pretty much T-boned me. It wasn't quite a T-bone, but he took me out really good. I don't know what I did to him, but he felt the need to put me on the ground. He went down too. I tried to keep my bike running, but it just happened. It fell again, so I wasn't able to keep it running. It took me a very, very long time to get it started, and needless to say, after that, I was very upset. So I started riding pretty angry and ended up falling down like half a lap later. High-sided pretty good in the corner, and that one actually hurt. So after that, I just chilled out, finished the race, because I didn't want to not finish, because if you did that, you would have been screwed over for the overall. So yeah, I ended up finishing third out of the 3 250A guys. The rest of the people in the class were B guys. It was actually another 250A guy who took me out. So yeah, that race did not go very well, and that's why I named this video the worst race I've ever had, because that was my worst race ever. I got cleaned out and then barely finished the race because I crashed again. So never have I ever crashed twice in a race before. Yeah, easily my worst race ever. So then we had 14 plus Moto 1, which went a lot better. I didn't get quite as good of a start in this one. I ended up about 4th, I think, or 5th or so. It was a really fun race. We had an awesome battle going. The guy out front was able to kind of gap us a little bit. There was a 25 plus guy on the Honda that another 14 plus guy and I were battling with. So the three of us had a pretty good battle. I was eventually able to work my way past them, and at that point in the race, I wasn't able to catch the leader. I don't know why, but all of the races after 250A Moto 1 were only 3 laps. I think Morelands was trying to run the program a little bit quicker, so they were only 3 laps. So the races went by really fast. So I came home in second on that one, which felt pretty nice to work my way through. I wish I could have gotten to the lead, but second place was still good for me, especially after that disastrous first moto. So then we come up to our second motos, 250A Moto 2, and this is probably my best race of the night. I actually got a horrendous start. I mistimed the gate terribly. I actually hit it like twice, but was still able to not get stuck on it, and took off, and I was on the far outside. I was trying something new. It obviously didn't work, and so it worked out actually. So where I was on the far outside and everybody was kind of in front of me, and they all pushed wide, and I was able to just cut right up the inside, almost got the lead, but a 250B guy was able to come over and shut the door. So I was in second for the majority of the race. I knew that the guy in front of me was a B rider, so I knew I didn't have to beat him, but I could hear another guy right behind me, which it turned out to be another B rider, but I didn't know that at the time because I wasn't going to look behind me. So I felt the urgency to get around the guy in front of me to try to put a little bit of a gap between us, which I eventually was able to pass him. It turned out that it was a B guy behind me, so it didn't really matter. But it was still really fun to be able to push through that and be able to ride like I know how to ride. And so it turned out that that guy who originally took me out in 250A Moto 1 was another A rider. He won that moto in the A class, and for some reason he finished third. in in the second moto. So I actually won the overall by going 3-1. So it was all the three of 250A riders all tied on points. I went 3-1. Guy that got second in the first moto got second in the second moto, and then the other guy went 1-3. But since I had the better second moto finish, I got the overall. So I was actually really stoked when I found that out, and we were waiting for the results to be posted, and I was pretty excited about that. So then we got to 14 plus Moto 2, which at this point in the night, it was dark. 250A Moto 1 was the first moto, so it actually wasn't even that dark for my second moto. But 14 plus Moto 2 was very dark. I was still riding a high after that 250A Moto 2, so I was trying to repeat that, but I got an okay start. I got stuck behind a couple guys and just wasn't able to work through them as quickly as I needed to. There was two 25 plus guys, the same Honda and then another Yamaha, I believe. And then there was the Husqvarna that I was battling with for 14 plus. So there's the four of us that were going pretty good in the beginning. We were able to work our way past the Honda, and the Yamaha and the Husqvarna were battling really good, and I just kind of was sitting back and watching, but I wasn't able to make anything happen. Looking back, I wish I would have made a little more better line choices to try to make some pass, but I just kept taking the same lines over and over again. But like I said, it was only 3 laps, so the race went by so fast that I didn't really have time to think about those things. But yeah, those are the 4 motos. It was a pretty exciting night of racing, pretty low lows from the beginning and then pretty high highs at the end. I did end up going 2-2 in 14 plus, so I got second overall because the Husqvarna, he went 3-1. So he got the overall. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next round, which it actually won't be for another 3 weeks because they are taking a pretty good gap between round 2 and round 3. So it'll be a little bit. I'm gonna take this weekend off. I bruised up my hip pretty good from when I high-sided in that first moto. So I'm just taking this weekend off, and I might not even ride until round 3. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm planning on riding at least 5 of the rounds. Basically, I'm just going to keep riding until there's bad weather because I refuse to do a mud race after I've done like 4 of them at Morelands, and they are not that enjoyable. So I refuse to do any more mud races. But yeah, that's going to do it for the analysis video, guys. Thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure to keep an eye out for the next video. I'm not sure when I'm going to go riding again, if it'll be before round 3 or if it will be round 3. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.